The WPKY Saturday Morning Quarterback Show is on the air on 1580, 103.3 WPKY and WPKYonline.com. Time to take a look back at last night's Caldwell County game with the coaches and, of course, your host, Bob Hayes.
Good morning, Tiger fans, and welcome to the Saturday Morning Quarterback. I'm joined in the studio this morning by Tiger head coach Wayne McGowan. And last night at Tiger Stadium saw the season end for the Caldwell County Tigers. Murray was just a little bit better than the home team and won the right to advance in the playoffs by defeating us 34-17. I'll be back with Coach McGowan to look at last night's game after these commercial messages.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Black Patch Grill. Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
A beautiful Saturday in the forecast for today, and one that is slightly warmer than it has been the last couple of days. Sunshine with highs reaching near 53, then mostly clear tonight with overnight lows around 36. Sunshine and an even more glorious day on Sunday, highs reaching near 61, then mostly cloudy with overnight lows around 43 on Sunday night. Showers moving into the forecast on Veterans Day Monday, otherwise cloudy with highs near 48. But again for today, sunny with highs near 53.
The holiday season will soon be upon us. While traveling in the Princeton and Kentucky Lakes area, have peace of mind knowing Riddle's 24-hour towing and lockout will be ready when you need us. Do you have AAA roadside coverage? AAA East Central has assigned Riddle's 24-hour towing to Caldwell and Lyon County as your primary AAA service provider. Our technicians are trained, uniformed, screened, and operate the most advanced equipment offered in the towing industry today. Call 270-350-6368.
'Tis the season for sweet deals in Princeton. Shop all these great businesses for their holiday open house November 8th through 10th. Posh embroidery designs and promotions, cozy living interior and boutique, Feather Your Nest, Newsom's Ham, The Joshua Tree, Armory Gun Shop, Black Patch Grill, The Cat's Tail Used Books, The Tin Roof, West Market, and Bows and Cleats. Come join the fun and shop till you drop November 8th through the 10th in Princeton.
The Saturday Morning Quarterback Show continues on WPKY. Here's your host, Bob Hayes.
And welcome back to the show. Wayne, it was just a very disappointing loss last night. It just seemed like that all our cylinders weren't functioning.
Absolutely. Leading up to the game this week, practices were really, really good. We all thought as coaches, and we went out in that old weather and rained on us, and the wind blew, and you think, mentally we were locked in. I thought, if you can go out and get in that mess and practice and practice well, I thought, mentally we were ready to roll. And but there again, that's why you line up every Friday night and go prove who's going to win the game. And anybody can beat anybody on paper and predictions and all that mess. So, but it's all won and lost right there on the field.
Well, we got off to a great start last night, going up 10-0, but in the end, the luck just wasn't with the Tigers. We can look at getting to the 3-yard line in the second half and not able to score. Murray getting a tipped pass right at the end of the first half for a situation where we had a potential interception but couldn't make it. Murray fumbles once in the game last night. We weren't able to get on that. The next play they score. So the gods, I think, were somewhat working against us. And so in 2 or 3 plays last night, which kind of draws my ire a little bit about the officials, 3 or 4 big gainers that got called back because, I guess, of holding, the magic hold, and so on and so forth. Whether they were or not, I'm not disputing that they weren't, but we had a touchdown call back that way.
Timely, you get those unfortunate timely situations like that. You think you get rolling a little bit and get some positive plays, and then you have setbacks like that, and then it's really tough. It's kind of hard to bounce back from that stuff once you have those positive plays and they're snatched away from you like that.
I can see that being defeating a little bit when we have 3 or 4 plays. Young kids just it takes a little bit of wind out of their sail, and I think we were kind of victim to that a little bit last night.
Yeah, it can kind of work on your psyche a little bit. If things are not going well and just wasn't able to find a groove. I didn't feel like as far as the energy was weird last night. It wasn't the same type of energy we've displayed all year, I thought. But there again, it's just we're dealing with young men and trying to grow these guys, and just a hard lesson last night.
And looking at the first half, Murray wins the toss and they defer. Tigers get the ball first, and we get the kickoff at our 30-yard line on the second down. Russ is intercepted. I thought, oh my gosh, here we go again. But it was a nice route that we ran, but we just didn't get the ball. The Murray defensive secondary last night covered fairly well.
Oh yeah, they did, and they're again, coming in defensive, they were still full go. Granted they lost offensive kids, but defensively, starting with that defensive line and all the way back to the secondary, they were all full strength, and those kids are pretty tough on defense.
So Murray picks off the first pass that Russ throws last night, and they get one first down, but then they have to punt back to the Tigers. The Tigers on their second drive get possession and on the first play there's a 31-yard run by Russ Bashir who really play was wide open, and he just ate up a lot of yards pretty quickly. And then we have consecutive runs by De'Eric Hollowell of 11 and 13 yards. Now we're at the Murray 23-yard line. And on third down, Russ connects with Tate Van Hoosier on a 16-yard pass to the 11. And Tate, again, wide open on that play over the middle where he just goes out and just gets lost, I guess. Yeah,
it was a good play. We hit him there in a little pocket right there, and, we were able to connect on that one.
And then on the next play, we survive another pass and interception attempt by Murray as Barron Wells wrestles the ball away from the Murray defender. It was a joint catch, but Barron came and went away with it. And but we have to settle. We're not able to pick up the first down on that third down play, and Blake Viret steps up and calmly nails a 27-yard field goal. Which, again, when you get on the board first, that makes you feel good.
It does. And last night's game, 3 points was really important to get right there. And, we just had to have something positive come out of that drive and not being able to get a first down or what have you, or score a touchdown. So, we're in range. Blake's good from that distance. And, we put that PAT field goal team out there, and, he knocked it on through there.
So on the second drive for Murray, they get the kickoff, and they start from their 36-yard line. And again, they have to punt to the Tigers on fourth down, and we almost blocked that kick. I don't know how we missed it. It seemingly just went straight up in the air. Tigers gaining possession at our 40-yard line, and we get an 8-yard pass completion to Tate, and on fourth down, De'Eric on 4th and 2. De'Eric is hit in the backfield at least twice, but doesn't go down. Just some tough running and effort on his part gets enough for us to get the first down.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was dead to right in the backfield, probably a couple 3-yard loss had they got him down, but this shows his ability to, keep his shoulder pads. He kept his shoulder pads low, and he took care of the ball there, and he got that thing upfield and, squirted on through there for a big first down run.
And that brought the end to the first quarter last night. And after we change ends of the fields on the first play of the second quarter, Russ hits Trip Branch down the near sideline and probably connected to about the 20. And Trip out-wrestles, out-jumps, out-maneuvers the coverage over there. He was covered tightly.
Oh yeah, he was. He really was, and did a great. It was a great individual effort to get up and get that football and make a great play on it.
After he makes the catch about the 18-yard line, he has to struggle to keep his feet, but then walks into the end zone, completing the play for a 49-yard touchdown. And again, Blake adds the extra point, and Caldwell now up 10-0 over Murray. And you got to thinking, is this too easy, or what's going to happen, so to speak?
Well, my mindset personally was, okay, we've come out and we've established ourselves a little bit. We got the field goal, got points, turned this thing around. We score a touchdown, and I thought the flow was pretty good there at that point. So we were doing some positive things and started out the game really good.
And so on the next possession by Murray, they get the kickoff, and they start from their 22-yard line. They were starting pretty deep in their territory all night last night with our kickoff coverage in that. But they get pass completions of 9, 7, and 18 yards by the sophomore quarterback, Sokolowski, and runs of 8 and 10 yards to move to the Caldwell 26-yard line. They lose 4 yards on a run and then are penalized another 5 yards back to the Caldwell 35, and on the next play, they're called for an ineligible receiver downfield, but this is the case, Rainey, where they only marked off 3 yards on the penalty. I didn't know what the discussion was down there on the field, but it was clearly that the ball was down, set at the 35, and if you mark off a 5-yard penalty, you should be back at their 40. But anyway, they put it down at their 38-yard line, or excuse me, our 38-yard line, and what was there was some stoppage in play on that. Were they trying to figure out what to do?
They was telling us something was wrong with the spot. The spot was this or that or something or another, and I don't know. I tell you what, you get some of these guys, and you get so many opinions and whatever, and you got this guy trying to overrule that guy, and so I think it was just something amongst them, and and there again, I don't think it was spotted right myself. I mean,
it was 2 yards shy of what it should have been, which maybe is meaningless anyway. But
true.
That just shows the and you've got the down marker on the sideline indicating where the play had started from. So just wasn't very good officiating there on that. But anyway, they mark off the 3-yard penalty. So Murray then gets a 17-yard pass completion, a 1-yard run, and a 20-yard touchdown pass on the next 3 plays. Extra point is good, and we've got a ball game going right now. Caldwell up 10-7 over Murray. So on the Tigers' 4th possession of the first half, we get a good return on the kickoff, and we start at our 41-yard line. And on second down, Russ has a nice 13-yard run, and a resulting 15-yard penalty against Murray moves the ball to the Murray 33-yard line. We get penalized 10 yards, and on the next play, Russ hits Trip Branch with an 18-yard pass, bringing up 3rd and 2. But here again, we try to go wide, and we lose lose 6 yards on a running play, and a 15-yard penalty forces us to have to punt. So those penalties in there, 15 yards is not a holding penalty. So what was the
personal foul, unsportsmanlike, that's what you get your 15s for. It wasn't holding. I can't even remember what the actual penalty was.
What the damage was. I know. It wasn't verbally.
I'm not sure. It could have been. I mean, sometimes there again, I've said it before. Sometimes you ask those guys, and sometimes you just don't ask them anything because you get so many. I don't know, just different answers and explanations but there again, whatever happened, we hurt ourselves. In the end of the day, we hurt ourselves with a 15-yarder and put ourselves way behind the chains.
And so with us having to punt, Murray takes possession at their 20-yard line, and they take 14 plays to score, going the 80 yards mostly through the air, 70 yards in air coverage and 10 yards on the ground. We have to bring up right now for the sophomore quarterback to be in that situation in a pressure-packed football game last night. I thought he performed exceptionally well.
Yeah, he excelled last night, 280-something yards, and he might look so pretty. He didn't look, maybe look like a pretty nice-looking quarterback back there, but he was effective. And there again, we talked about it in the pregame. It was just you just wasn't sure what kind of attack they were going to plan, and I'm pretty sure coming in, I knew they were going to try to throw the ball. I mean, obviously Trigg threw it all over the place on us, and I'm sure they we're going to throw it anyway. We're going to give this kid a chance to throw the ball, and he was able to give it to Waldrop, who caught the brunt of the passes, and that kid there, you get the ball in his hand, he's going to hurt you.
Well, and the other thing that when we broke him out of the pocket on 4 maybe 5 occasions,
Mm-hmm.
and he was running. He was extremely accurate in,
Oh, yeah.
in those
Yeah.
situations. I mean, putting the ball right where it had to be placed. You usually throw those things wide, low, high, or behind you, and
Yeah, he was
so,
on point.
So for whatever kind of game plan they had for him, and he was not just dumping the ball over the line of scrimmage.
Right,
He was throwing
right.
down and
Oh,
outs
yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
and post patterns and,
Yep.
and stuff like that. So Murray goes ahead and they get they get a gift touchdown here toward the end of the second quarter when Sokolowski goes back and tries to hit Waldrop over the middle on a post, and the ball just goes through our defender's hands, and with that just a gift, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
All he has to do is just lay the hands out there, and the ball drops in.
He did.
They add the extra point and go up, and really this is the end of the first half. We get to run one play out of the victory formation to kill the end of the first half. But Murray now leads at halftime over the Tigers 14-10, and we're going to we had the right person in the right spot on that play, but we just could not bat it down or make the catch.
Yeah.
Wayne on that touchdown, and those things come back to haunt you, I think.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I've always, watching ball games, whether I'm watching it on TV or whatever, you tip balls and miss sacks are killers. Either way. You tip a ball, it's going to be a pick or a touchdown, or you miss a sack, somebody's going to scramble and take off on you. And, it was just an unfortunate deal right there. We're in pretty good position, and there it went right through his hands and right into Waldrop's hands.
Well, and those things you say that's part of the game.
It is an unfortunate parts of the game right there.
And so it's now halftime, and I'll be back with Coach McGowan for the second half to talk about it after these messages from our sponsors.
WPKY.
Panera has new breakfast wraps. And yeah, they're an easy on-the-go start to your day. But these are no microwave and go wraps. These are slow-smoked Chipotle chicken, egg, and avocado go-getters. They're maple bacon, eggy smoked Gouda bundles of portable bliss. And they all pair perfectly with our new cold brews. All this can be yours in an instant with rapid pickup. For breakfast that's fast, not fast food. Panera, food as it should be.
ABC Wednesday, country music's biggest night, will make history.
You are phenomenal.
Carrie Underwood hosts the CMA Awards with special guest hosts Reba McEntire and Dolly Parton. Performances by Miranda Lambert, Keith Urban, Maren Morris. Plus, Garth Brooks with Blake Shelton, Lady Antebellum and Halsey, Pink and Chris Stapleton, and so much more. The CMA Awards live, Wednesday, 8/7 Central on ABC. WPKY.
We're proud to serve Caldwell County and you. 1580 103.3 WPKY. Worldwide at WPKYonline.com. Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
A beautiful Saturday in the forecast for today, and one that is slightly warmer than it has been the last couple of days. Sunshine with highs reaching near 53, then mostly clear tonight with overnight lows around 36. Sunshine and an even more glorious day on Sunday, highs reaching near 61, then mostly cloudy with overnight lows around 43 on Sunday night. Showers moving into the forecast on Veterans Day Monday, otherwise cloudy with highs near 48. But again for today, sunny with highs near 53.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Jeff Russo, attorney at law.
Dunks Used Tires and Wheels, where the customer is always number one. So when life's throwing you a number two, just remember, Dunks Tires and Wheels, because we'll be here for you. We sell used custom wheels and tires and do plug and patch repair. We have all tread styles and sizes in stock, open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5, and on call for emergencies. Call 270-963-6391. Dunks Used Tires and Wheels, where the customer is always number one.
You can always expect great things at Planters Bank. When we say expect great things, what we're really saying is Planters Bank is here to provide the financial services you need. Planters Bank believes in the strength of our community and is a full-service financial institution. Our employees have a true passion for helping our neighbors, and it shows. See Jake Pepper and the rest of the Planters Bank staff at 208 North Jefferson. Planters Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Imagine this. It's late at night, it's cold and dark, and you have a flat tire. One never knows when old Bessie's going to cause you problems. There's only one place to call, Wallace Towing and Recovery in Princeton. Wallace Towing and Recovery is a 24/7 towing and recovery service. You can count on Wallace Towing and Recovery to get you safe and back on the road or to a repair shop. Wallace Towing and Recovery will jumpstart your vehicle, change a tire, deliver gas, unlock a door, or haul to the garage or scrapyard. Wallace Towing and Recovery has you covered in Princeton and surrounding areas. Call Wallace Towing and Recovery. Check them out on Facebook, and when you need a tow or roadside help, call Wallace Towing and Recovery at 270-963-9081.
Raider Auction Company is owned and operated by Delbert Raider. Delbert has been in the agricultural field for over 40 years and is well known for his knowledge of used equipment. Raider Auction holds 4 consignment auctions a year, and they buy and sell equipment on a daily basis. If you're looking for a piece of equipment, they'll do their best to locate it, and financing is available. Contact Delbert Raider at 270-881-2610 or Amy Ezel at 270-604-2880 for all your used equipment needs. Raider Auction Company, Skyline Drive.
Big John's Barbecue is now taking Thanksgiving orders for whole smoked turkeys for $40, whole Boston butts for $30, and baby back ribs for $18. Pulled pork $8.50 a pound, and brisket $11 a pound. You can even order cornbread dressing, barbecue beans, slaw, potato salad, and mac and cheese. Check prices on their Facebook page. Deadline for orders is November 13th. Big John's Barbecue, making Thanksgiving easy and delicious. Remember, they're now serving up the food at the Elks Lodge in Princeton. Find out all the details on their Facebook page. Big John's Barbecue.
Enter your football mom in the YourSportsEdge.com Sports Mom of the Month contest presented by Save More Drugs, GNC Hopkinsville, and Joel's Bakery and Cafe. Enter today at YourSportsEdge.com.
The Saturday Morning Quarterback Show continues on WPKY. Here's your host, Bob Hayes.
And welcome back to the show. Wayne, what was the message to the players at halftime last night, and what corrections did we have to make in your mind?
As far as the message, it was pretty much the same message that was, we talked about prior to the game starting, that this was going to be a battle to the end. We had to play 48 minutes or whatever it took to win this ball game, and we kind of reiterated that. As far as any changes, we had to make a couple changes, in our coverage to try to slow down the Waldrop kid. And I think in the second half, some of the little change we did make kind of slowed them down a little bit, got them off their game some. But, it was just one of those deals where, hey, you got to come out and play a game. 10 points was not going to win that game. Or 3 points or whatever. We knew we needed to score points, and we knew we might have some big time stops. And
it's I think it's important because it was cold last night, something that we'd not experienced a little bit over in Katie's the week before. But it was really cold last night. Thank goodness no wind. But
right.
was the coldness a factor?
I didn't really feel like it was. It didn't, a lot of times you can just look at people or kids or whomever and just tell them, they don't feel good, they're cold, they're not comfortable or whatever. And just didn't really feel that with our kids. Those kids who were out there on the field playing, they seemed to be okay as far as the weather affected them any at all, if any. I don't know, but it's just one of those deals. It's a mind deal. You have to get out in that stuff and play. And there again, we practice all week in worse weather, I thought.
Mm-hmm. Well, here again, the older you get, the colder you get, the younger you are. You can go out to Walmart when it's 25 degrees, and there'll be people coming into the store with short sleeves on and shorts. So it shouldn't have been a factor.
Shorts all year long.
Yes. Anyway, the second half gets underway. Murray, having deferred at the beginning of the game, they get to kick off at their 29, and they go 3 and out, which I thought was something nice. Maybe some of the message at the halftime was we got to get these kids off, get their offense off the field.
Yeah, exactly. And there again, third down. I think they were about 50% last night on third down, and a little bit better than last week. And that was a very, very big positive right there to come out 3 and out.
So Murray punts the ball, and we don't know whether it was it was muffed by our return guy, not knowing whether he lost it in the lights or what, but never did look comfortable under the punt.
Right.
And the ball gets loose, free, and Riley Orange makes a fabulous recovery for us. I would have thought with 4 Murray guys going after it and one of our guys, there's no way we're going to recover that ball. But
yeah, we were very fortunate right there. Riley Orange was, heads up and saw that thing bouncing around back there and jumped on it and covered it up and, saved the big momentum swing right there. Had those guys gotten that ball right there, that would have been a great momentum swing for them.
But having recovered the ball, the Tigers go 3 and out, and we have to punt with Murray taking over at their 35-yard line. They open up that their second drive with a 6-yard run, but then Sokolowski hits Waldrop with a 59-yard pass play where just over the center. I don't know whether we missed the coverage or
just.
He just got free easily.
Yeah. There again, it just not being disciplined in our coverage. We know we got to cover and who we cover, and it's a technique thing. If you don't have good technique in coverage, you're going to get beat. And you have to give that kid credit. He knows how to get open and use his body, and the kid did a good job of getting the ball to him.
I don't know how many reads the quarterback from Murray would make last night on plays. I know the longer he held the ball, the more he was trying to find open receivers, but that one was probably his main read.
Yeah.
When he saw the distance or separation, that's where the ball went.
Yeah.
And he couldn't have thrown it low. He couldn't have thrown it high. He couldn't have thrown it left or right. It was right in there over the shoulder. Waldrop doesn't have to break stride.
Right.
And Murray adds the extra point, and now they lead just early in the second half, 21-10 over the Tigers. With our second possession, we get the ball at our 26. Drive starts with a 5-yard run by Derrick, a Russ Bashir run of 4 yards, a 10-yard pass completion to Tate Van Hoosier. Derrick follows with a and on that play with Tate catching that ball, I thought the whistle should have blown about 30 seconds earlier because they had about 6-7 guys taking shots at him, and we thought, well, are we going to see a penalty? And we saw some of the people on the sideline doing but they didn't they didn't stop it, and finally he gets somewhat violently thrown down.
Yeah, he does.
But anyway, nothing gets called on that play. So Derrick follows with a 2-yard run. Russ Bashir goes for 4 yards. Derrick 411 yards to the Murray 38-yard line. Derrick again with another 8-yard run. Then a 27-yard pass completion from Russ Bashir to Barron Wells. Barron makes a nice catch and some zigzag and going upfield finally gets the ball to the 3-yard line. But we lose 4. It's first and goal for us at the 3, but we lose 4 yards on first down, followed by another inopportune penalty, a 10-yard penalty.
Yep.
We follow with 2 pass incompletions, and again, just trying to get points on the board. We attempt a field goal, and it went wide left, I guess, but it looked good from where I was sitting. I'm sure it was hooked.
Yeah, it just a little.
So we miss an opportunity then to put points on the board, which is, as we've always say, is never a good thing. Murray on their third possession, they go 3 and out, so we're fortunate that they don't get the ball and start running time off the clock. So they punt to us at our 35-yard line. Again, the Tigers can't do anything, and we have to punt back to them, and they take it at their 26-yard line. They pick up 1 first down, but then they have to punt with Caldwell taking possession at our 20-yard line. Derrick opens this drive with a 2-yard run. Russ Bashir hits Strip Branch with a 44-yard catch and run down the far sideline. A beautiful throw, beautiful catch.
Good hook
again in tight coverage on that play. So we get the ball to the Murray 34. Derrick, a 20-yard gain on the first play. Russ follows with a 6-yard run. And then we hook up with Derrick Hollowell on an 8-yard touchdown pass. And I didn't think there was no way Derrick could catch that ball the way it was looking as it left Russ's hands. But he somehow managed to hang on to it and scoot into the end zone. Big for us to answer a touchdown with a touchdown. We add the extra point, Blake does. And right now the score is Murray 21, Caldwell County 17. We're cutting into the lead and being behind and trailing. When you cut into the lead, we're thinking maybe we got some momentum back.
Absolutely. Good positive drive, good positive play, good points on the board. And, maybe we're getting ready to wake up a little bit and get in this ball game. And momentum has swung our way a little bit. And just needed some more plays.
So on the next drive, which is the fifth drive of the second half for Murray, they get to kick off at their 32. And on the first play, Sokolowski fumbles on a hard hit by Ben Holt. But we just can't get on the ball. I think their center, the big center, is the one that recovered it for Murray. And a little change in karma there. If we get the ball, it may be a different story. We're in their territory. But on the next play, Murray gets loose and completes a 68-yard pass play over the middle to the receiver, Duffy, and he reverses his field. He ran about 100 yards on that 68-yard touchdown run. And so a little bit of a dagger beginning to feel coming, because apparently we've given up the big play and at that opportune time gave up another big play.
Right, yeah. With the fumble deal there, it pops up and right into the center's hand. And, you never want to start thinking about bad things or how unfortunate things go, but, you just have to think, hey, that ball's flying around up in the air and the center gets it of all people.
And we had two kids in the area just bounced right back to him.
That's
it's maybe it's not our night if you start to think it. And this comes with 7 minutes and 41 seconds left in the game, so there's not a whole lot of time left to catch up. They hit the extra point. They go up 28-17. We get the kickoff and take over at our 30-yard line, but face a 3rd and 9, and obviously we go for it on 3rd and 9 or 4th and 9, because it's late in the game and we're down two scores. But Russ again having to scrambled well last night.
I thought so.
And picked up a lot of yards on scrambles, but on this one we came up about 3 yards short. We turned the ball over on downs. And again, I guess you have to attribute the fact he couldn't get the ball off because of the great coverage that Murray had in the secondary.
Yeah, he went through his reads or what have you, and had to pull that thing down and try to make a play. And that's what Russ is going to do. He hit those reads, and if it's not there, he's going to pull it down and try to go get positive yards.
Well, and he gained positive yards,
5 or 6 yards
in those situations. We just didn't get enough to move the chains, as they say. So Murray takes over at our 35-yard line, and we get a steady dose of the fridge. I didn't know whether you'd seen him on film this year.
Earlier in the year, he even wore number 34 earlier in the year. So, we've seen him.
Well, I mean, he's a bruising.
He's a load.
And I think he got stronger as the night went on.
I believe so.
So anyway, and the fellow we're talking about is Murray's number 50, Sebastian Lawrence, a junior, an outstanding football prospect.
Right.
So he runs consecutively until 5 carries, gets it in the end zone, all on his effort, and we just can't get him down, it seems like.
Yeah, that's a big old kid, and he's a pretty athletic kid. See him run the ball and see him run on kickoffs and kick returns, and he moves around pretty well. And
well, when you see him take the snap from center, you know he's got good hands.
Oh yeah,
I mean he didn't sit there and bobble it. As soon as he got it,
he was tuck it away, and there again, he's a good ball player, and he's had a nose for the end zone.
Probably looking for his hole as the ball was coming back to him. On that.
Well, make his own hole.
which he did. I mean, it wasn't there, and he created a hole.
Yeah.
So they go ahead and score on his 5th carry. They miss the extra point. So at this time, it's Murray 34, Caldwell 17, and our last drive of the night. We get to kick off at our 40, get a 14-yard run by Derrick, and Russ loses 8 yards on a run, but a 15-yard penalty moves the ball to the Murray 39-yard line. Tigers eventually turn the ball over on downs. Again, Russ scrambles and cannot get enough yards to pick up that first down, and eventually Murray just runs out the clock, and that's the end of the game. Really a disappointing loss when you can look back and see 4 or 5 things that had gone our way would have been a different story.
Right, and that's the way that old ball bounces, and a football game goes sometime, up, downs, and unfortunate things happen, and you can't get into a flow, you don't have energy. All those things factor in, and Unfortunately, it was a disappointing loss to end the season, and but it was so many positives throughout this year, and we're had a great season, I thought.
And so after the game, what when we're on the field, what do you tell the kids?
Yeah, I told them, this is one of those life lesson deals. It's going to knock you down sometimes, and you have to find yourself and get back up. And at the moment, everybody's heartbroken and crushed, and it'll be a day or two, for all of us. Go have to just get away from it a little bit, and time will help. And but it's really, really tough once you pour your heart and soul into something and you come up short.
And looking at some of the stats here of the game, again, a great night by Derek, and he just couldn't get around the end. He still has 23 carries for 101 yards. So, that's outstanding running. The only other player to carry the ball for the Tigers, Russ Bashir, is 52 yards on 10 carries. Passing, Russ goes 12 of 23 with 1 interception. Trip Branch with 4 catches for 111 yards and a touchdown. Tate Van Hoosier 3 catches for 35 yards and no touchdowns. Derek Hollowell 3 catches for 22 yards with a touchdown. And Barron Wells 2 catches for 28 yards. Total yards for the Tigers through the air, 196 yards. Total offense last night was not that different. Right. Murray picks up 399. Caldwell County picks up 348. And they get big play after big play. But tackles, again, led last night by Ben Holt with 10. He had 8 first hits. Two of those tackles were for loss. Tate Van Hoosier with 6, 4 first hits. Devin Kilgore, 6 tackles with 2 first hits. Max Kramer with 5 tackles, 4 first hits. He had a couple of his tackles for loss. Elijah Sheen with 5 tackles, 2 for first hits, 2 for loss, and a sack. The only sack the Tigers recorded last night was by Elijah. Max Ashley with 4 tackles. Barron Wells with 4 tackles. Travion Samuel, 4 tackles. Drew Davis with 3 tackles, Jack Stevens with 2 tackles, Aaron Hensley 1 tackle, Russ Bashir with 2 tackles, Kenyon Richardson one tackle, Trip Branch 1 tackle, Riley Orange 1 tackle, and John Paredes one tackle. So again, we just didn't do things right 3 or 4 times, important times of the game last night, and it as it turns out that's what bit us. Penalties, Caldwell with 6 only penalties last night. It seems like all 6 of those came with momentum-changing consequences. Our 6 penalties were 64 yards. Murray had 10 for 78. We ran 57 plays. Murray ran 56. We had the 1 turnover. Murray got on their only turnover.
Right.
We have the ball for roughly 21 and a half minutes. Murray 26 and a half, which is no big deal for us. Third downs, Caldwell goes, and here's maybe a telling stat. Caldwell goes 4 for 12 on third down and 1 for 3 on fourth downs. So that's 15 attempts to try to pick up the first down. We only get 5 of those. Murray with 6 out of 12 on third down conversions and 1 of 1 on fourth down. That one coming late in the game. I think that's when Lawrence picked up a first down on a third and 4th and 2 or something like that.
4th and 2.
And Murray ends up punting 5 times last night. Caldwell only 3. So the stats a little bit in our favor, but the scoreboard. I mean, we just don't get it done at the right proper time.
That's what all matters on the scoreboard. You can have stats all over the board, or not many stats, or a whole bunch of stats and yards and whatever, and but it's the scoreboard that tells it all.
That's what you have to go by. And just to go over the awards that the radio station handed out last night, the play of the game, Trip Branch touchdown catch. Trip had another catch earlier in the game, or later in the game after his touchdown, the 44-yarder down the far sideline, catching the ball well.
Right.
Had 4 grabs last night, and just being a junior, he's really set for a tremendous senior year.
Yeah, he came on for us here in the second half of the season, and He was able to make big plays for us, and he's a big kid. Got a big bodied kid, and has great hands, and he's only going to get better. Next summer we'll throw a lot of balls around, and he'll be able to get a whole lot better.
And our power line play, which is sponsored by C3 Electric, our play of the game sponsored by Joyner Hardware. But the power line play, we gave that to Elijah Shaheen with his 1 sack, and all night long you saw him just about to explode and get into the backfield. They had to have, on a couple occasions, maybe more than that, 2 people on him.
Yeah.
The big block last night was when we went into our elephant package or our power package. We put Tate in motion, and that's one time when De'Eric did get to the end and Tate made the crumbling block that allowed that to happen. So he gets that from us. Quick cut. We're going to give that to Russ Bashir. Russ ran well last night and cutting, darting, bobbing, trying to get free and ran well with the yardage that he picked up. And then the catch of the game, we're going to give that to De'Eric Hollowell with that great catch to score our second touchdown, which looked, from where I was sitting, an improbable. He had to reach behind him almost to catch that ball, and so that was crucial for us to get on the board at that time of the game. So those kids handled deserve those awards. And kind of, Wayne, right now, what's next for the program since the season is over for us?
We'll be away a little bit, as far as away from the kids and each other, and we'll probably start getting in that weight room, maybe sometime in December, just kind of open it up a little bit, and January rolls around, first of the year, and we're full go back, off season 4 days a week, lifting some and running and doing agility things, and we just have to press upon these kids who are returning guys that, wins and losses are made in the off season. You have to put your work in, and it's a tough time of the year in the off season. January, February, March. It's winter. It's cold. It's whatever, and you go to school all day, and you have to come to that weight room and run and lift, but if you're gonna improve and be a better football team, you have to do those things, and that'll be the focus here in the next few months.
And obviously, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this up. But what form does the coaching selection process take now? Do we know any idea what happens in that situation? Or
I really don't right now. But I'm sure the job will be posted, and I'm sure applications will be taken, and then I'm sure there'll be a committee formed, and then they'll just kind of progress from there.
And probably happening midwinter or late spring.
Maybe.
Spring.
Maybe. I don't have a timetable or anything. I have zero idea how that's going to go. But those other factors will have to come in. The committee and the applications, and just open the job up and post it for X amount of days or whatever. So yeah.
And right now, I get to weigh in on my opinion, and really, from what I've seen this year, was the tremendous impact you've had on the players and the program. I hope you are in the mix for some of these year-end Coach of the Year honors, because I think you deserve them. You have your kids prepared, led the team, and been the upfront spokesman for the team, and certainly you have treated me with a great deal of respect with these radio interviews, being on time, being upbeat, just being a winner. Wayne, I appreciate that.
Well, thank you, Bob.
Certainly thanks to you for that. And also want to thank WPKY for their new format this year, which allowed us to be on the field, and for me to work with Dennis Stevens, Todd Griffin, Gary Goodacre, John Miller, and Tess Cowan has been really an immense pleasure and opportunity for me, and also to work with the coaching staff. This is my end of the 5th year for the football broadcast, and I'm quite thankful for what we can do here in Caldwell County and the football program. And thanks for your leadership in that program, Wayne.
Thank you.
And any final thoughts before we wrap this show up?
I just want to commend these kids with the start of this football season, with the unfortunate circumstances we all went through, losing Coach Barnes and these young men were able to grow up, and they grew up pretty fast. Something happened like that to you. And also, there were 2 kids missing out of this senior class, and that this bunch has had to deal with since they were freshmen, the seniors I'm speaking of. And so, those kids had a lot of things weighing on them, and there's only 6 of them, and there was lots of leadership out of those 6 kids, and those kids will be tremendously missed. So it's going to be tough to replace them, on the field, off the field, in the weight room. We had some kids dedicated in that weight room, and Luke Stallings was probably the one who was more dedicated than any of them. Luke, I think, had the weightlifting class and during the day, and he'd come in, get his workouts, and he was a leader in there for several young kids throughout the off season, and he's to be commended for that, as well as all those other seniors who had to endure what we endured this year. But there again, you grow and you learn from these tough situations like this, and it's going to make them all better men when they get older, and they're going to be able to look back on this situation and say, hey, I've been through some tough things, and I know how to approach things. Hopefully we've taught them how to approach a tough situation, and it'd be something they can use down the road.
And certainly just to add my 2 cents worth here is the tremendous impact Ben Holt had on the team this year, just about doubling the next guy in tackles.
Yeah.
And just a winner.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, he was another one of those workout warrior type kids for us who got in that weight room, and it showed. Ben got a lot stronger, and just his leadership on that field was really, really good. He was the leader of that defense, and anything that was changed or called or whatever defensively, it went through him, and he was the only voice on the defense, and. Those kids looked up to Ben, and reason being, he goes out there and makes those plays. He just doesn't talk about it. Ben would go out there and make plays. So, you got to look up to a guy like that who's out there actually doing what he's supposed to be doing.
And then the 2 other seniors that I know that contributed mightily this year, Derek Hollowell, we raved about him all through the year, and then Max Ashley, probably an unsung hero, if you will, with his ability to step up and play well for us. But it's just what it is, and that's going to end our show for the day, and it is the final one for the 2019 season. It was a great year for the Tigers, finishing with an 8-3 record, and with a young team, we're only going to get better. Now we turn our attention to the basketball season, and WPKY will be highly involved in that. The boys and girls look for very interesting seasons, and we will be there for those broadcasts. Before I sign off today, I want to thank John Miller, who handles the behind-the-scenes work for the pregame interview and the Saturday morning quarterback show. He is extremely talented, and WPKY is fortunate to have him. So, for the last time for this football season, and speaking for head coach Wayne McGowan, Coach Earl, who's with us now in the studio, for engineer John Miller, this is Bob Hayes saying so long for now.
You've been listening to the Saturday Morning Quarterback Show with your host, Bob Hayes, and producer, John Miller. You can watch the Quarterback Show again at WPKYOnline.com. For more news about Caldwell sports and sports from across the area, remember to go to yoursportsedge.com.
WPKY.
Panera has new breakfast wraps.